Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. I am the Goose, and I'm so glad you joined me for another show. I will put boxing on a hold for a while. Got some interesting stuff to talk about, as we always try to do. But got to have our medicine first. My medicine, very strong. My coffee, just like my opinion. Got some creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. Good. Allow me, please, to get on my soapbox. I don't get into righteous indignation very often, but I'm about to dish it up now. You ready? Shame on you, Juul. Shame on you. You say you're better than tobacco companies? No, you're not. You're not. Why do I say that? Well, first of all, I'm an ex-smoker. See where I'm going? It's nasty. What a horrible habit. But you know what? I don't hate people who smoke. I used to be one of them. I don't hate people who vape. Why should I? You know, we all have our weaknesses. What I hate is tobacco companies and companies like Juul, because they target people and their weakness. They put nicotine in their product. Now, I understand why. Okay, first of all, people use e-cigarettes primarily and originally to quit smoking, get them off of cigarettes. That's fine. You know, that's whatever you need to do. Because it's a very addictive drug, man. That nicotine is some nasty stuff. But there you go. Gave you the info right there. Nicotine is nasty stuff, and so is tobacco. But when you put nicotine in the product purposely just to sell it, shame on you. You're making money victimizing people. And I just read recently they moved to the Philippines now. They're targeting teenagers, kids in the Philippines. Now, Juul has already been selling to people in 20 countries, about 20 countries. They've all been fairly wealthy Western countries, which is bad enough. But now they're going after it. Philippines is not a third world country. My wife is from the Philippines, many friends. It's not a third world country, but it's not, it doesn't have the wealth of, and most of the people who live there are not wealthy, not by Western standards. So now you're going after them. It's just more shame on Juul. Now, is vaping safe without the nicotine, that is? I don't really know. It's better than tobacco. Granted, and almost anything's better than tobacco. Tobacco will kill you. And it killed my mom. And it would have killed me had I not asked for the Lord's help and quit, 22 years ago. But vaping has been shown to lead to damage to the brain, the heart, and lungs, and cancerous tumor development. Let's see, what are the latest numbers? 18 deaths that we know of. And over 1,000 people hospitalized with serious lung illnesses. Now, vaping and e-cigarettes is still a relatively young industry, if you will. So we're still gathering data on this. But we think most of those deaths and lung illnesses due to vaping is because of cartridges, tainted cartridges, and a lot of it, they put pot or THC in there just to, hook you even more. So yes, it is dangerous. Again, not all the facts are in. Now, the e-cigarettes and vaping, again, used primarily and originally for people who smoke cigarettes or, chew tobacco or cigars or what have you, and they're dying to quit. And it's hard to quit, I know personally. But it was not meant for people who had never smoked to begin with. See where I'm going with this? The shame? It pains me to see people make money addicting people to their product. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's what they do with tobacco too. But now, the Juul is, Juul is a new kid on the block. And, they like to walk around like they're, Boy Scouts helping the little old lady across the street. We're just helping you quit smoking, right? No, that's not what they're doing. They're hooking you, and they're making a lot of money off it. And they do it in many ways. They like tobacco, the cigarette companies. They do it, they used to do it, the cigarette companies, just by making it seem cool. This is what the cool kids are doing, right? The Marlboro Man. Yeah, wasn't he a good-looking guy with that on his horse with that Marlboro cigarette, right? Well, it wasn't cool, but it looked cool. And for decades, we saw it in the movies. Not so much anymore. Well, their tobacco companies and now Juul are preying and targeting kids, teenagers, and I mean young teenagers, 13, 14 years old. And they're susceptible because they're young. They don't know any better, right? Not like many of us adults know any better, but that's what they're going after. And they're going after them with different flavors, with mint and mango. And, it's all about making money. And I'm all for making money. I like to make money too. I wish I had more of it. But there's a certain line you don't cross. There are certain laws, you're not going to, I think almost all of us agree, you're not going to, want to sell drugs, sell heroin, sell opioids, to kids, and cigarettes included. Well, Juul is in that company now, and shame on them. Number one, for targeting kids with their addictive product, and now they're going after kids in the non-Western countries. They're going after people who really can't afford it to begin with. So, righteous indignation is, that's the best way I can describe my thoughts on what's happening with Juul. Not only going after kids in Western states, Western countries, but now in the Philippines too. Shame on you, Juul. Shame, shame, shame. And for you parents, be advised. You see your kids vaping, it ain't good. It ain't good, and it's addictive. Anyhow, that's my thoughts. And again, I'm speaking from experience, hard experience. I smoked like most people. I started smoking when I was 16, and along with pot, that's emotionally addictive. And I didn't quit until I was 35 years old, all by the grace of God. Only God could help me get over those horrible products. And you know what I learned? For once, I kept my promise to myself. I said, you know what? It was my third try, by the way. Hard to do it on the first try or the second. I made a plan. I was going to quit smoking cigarettes first, give myself a year, then quit smoking pot. You know what I discovered? Once I got past the first few days, few weeks, and I knew I was on the right track without cigarettes, I didn't really even want the pot at that point. I learned pot, even though it's not good, and it ain't, it drags a person down, even though it's legal. Oh well, tobacco was the real evil and continues to be a real evil. I don't know what the percentage is. Now it's way down. When I was a kid, well over half the people smoked. It was the cool thing to do. That was the evil. It was not just the tobacco. It was the nicotine. They don't kill this, cigarettes, the tobacco companies don't hook you on the tobacco itself. They hook you on the addictive drug, nicotine. And that's exactly what's happening now with Juul. It just looks safer, though, doesn't it? Well, at least they're not smoking cigarettes. Well, like I said, that last check, 18 people are dead, over 1,000 hospitalized with serious lung injuries. Granted, many of those are, vaping. They added, THC, pot, and tainted cartridges. But fact remains, it's nicotine. It's the addictive drug. Juul puts it in there on purpose. Why? To make money. And they don't care about you or your kids. So, again, parents, be advised, Juul, they're the bad boys on the block. They're no better than tobacco companies. Okay? That's it for this edition of Coffee with the Goose. Thanks for sticking with me, and hopefully, we all learned something here. Juul, not good. Stick with me. Got many more shows to come. Take care.